And this morning with my morning inspiration, my topic is we were not put on this earth to struggle. And basically the reason why, I want to bring this topic up is because of the fact of the matter. We all realize that in life things happen beyond our control that we cannot help. Like for instance, the economic crisis that is going on right now across the world. But the thing is, even though life happens and things happen in life, we have to realize that we have to find that point in our life to where if we're in a situation where we're struggling, then it's up to us to do the necessary things that we need to do to get out of that struggling situation. We don't have to stay in a struggling situation just because life hit us and put us in a struggling situation. That's where we have to, make choices in life and make decisions in life and search out other avenues, the things that we can do to get us out of those struggling situations rather than just sitting there and just settling on their struggling situation and saying, well, okay, this happened to me, life happened to me, and there's nothing I can really do about it. We should never adapt the attitude when we're in a situation of struggle. We should never adapt the attitude of it happened and there's nothing we could do about it. What we need to do is when we get hit with life struggles, that's when our sense of urgency should come in for us trying to figure out how we're going to get out of that struggling situation rather than just wallowing in that struggling situation and saying, woe is me and there's nothing I can do about it. Yes, you can do something about it. If you're in any struggling situation in life, all you have to do is just reevaluate the situation itself and see, what happened that caused you to get there. It may have been a situation where the coronavirus caused you to lose, where it may have been a situation where the economic crisis caused you to lose your job. And if you look at it like this, then you just have to be, have enough drive to get up and go do what you need to do to bring some more income in. And even if it means, stepping out on a limb and investing in yourself at that point in time, that should be a good time and a good sign to let you know that, hey, it's time for me to do something different because, the traditional jobs, when something happens, it puts me in a struggle and I don't want to keep going through those struggles. So now, I'm gonna take a risk and I'm gonna invest in myself on top of what I'm previously doing before the struggle hit. Because if you prepare yourself before a struggle hits, then you never have to struggle. And how you prepare yourself before a struggle hit is you never put all your eggs in one basket. You never feel like that nothing's gonna never happen for you to lose your previous income that you have right now. You should never feel like nothing is gonna always be there. You should always have that thought in the back of your mind of a backup plan just in case something happens to your previous income and now you're not put in a struggle. In the same way with daily life, certain situations, we put ourselves in because of the choices that we make. But just because we made those choices and it put us in those struggles, we can make those choices to get out of those struggling moments that we put ourselves in. All we have to do is just reevaluate the decision that we made that put us there. Whatever decision we made that put us there, figure out what decision we can make to get us out of there. And basically it just comes all within, your mind and your mindset and where you are in life and what you believe in and what you believe that you can achieve in life and what you can do. And then now, you're not going through the struggle that of worrying about, how things is going to happen in your life because you have created a way to deal with the struggle if it happens to happen to you. And that's what we should be realizing in life. We all struggle because life happens and there's nothing we can do about it. There's things that happen in life that is beyond our control, but we cannot let that the situation that happened beyond our control define us and we not try to do nothing to get ourselves out of that struggling situation. We should be trying to do whatever it takes to get ourselves out of that struggling situation for the fact of the matter. So we're not in a struggling situation, and now, you know, we have figured our way out. Because if you want to get out of any struggling situation, all you got to do is evaluate how you got there. And if you can evaluate how you got there, then you can evaluate a way out. But if you get there and then you get this attitude like, "War is me, bad things always happen in my life, and nothing goes right, and I'm never going." If you bring negative to a struggle, you're going to keep struggling. But if you bring a positive mindset to a struggle, now you're figuring out a way to get out of that struggle. So anytime you're caught in life with a struggling moment to where you're struggling, always elevate that situation with a positive note on how you can get out of that struggling situation, other than just, you know, wallowing in that misery. Because if you wallow in that misery, now you're gonna have the attitude of, "War is me, and I can't get out of this because every time I try this, I fail, and this doesn't work." But you know, you have to be, you have to have that self-perseverance about yourself to want to get out of that struggle. You know, and like, say for instance, if you're working a job right now, and you're working that job, and you're living from paycheck to paycheck, and you've been living from paycheck to paycheck, but each and every day you get up and you complain about living from paycheck to paycheck, and you never do nothing about it to change it, then you have created more struggle on top of a struggle. Because not do you realize that you're living from paycheck to paycheck, but you're telling yourself that you can never do anything to get yourself out of that situation, from living from paycheck to paycheck in that struggle, because you believe that this is all you can do because you've been doing it all your life, and you've never thought about taking a risk and investing in yourself just to see how it would go, because you don't believe that you can. And what I'm saying to you is, right now, you know, we was not put on this earth to struggle, because of the simple fact that we all have a mind and we all are smart. We just have to use our mind to the best of our ability and create, you know, a plan on how to get out of the struggle when we find ourselves in the struggle, instead of just accepting the fact that, okay, I'm in this struggle and there's nothing I can do about it. Yes, there's always something you can do about coming out of every struggle that you go into, because like I said, life happens. You know, sometimes there's things in life that's beyond your control. Say for instance, you know, you're working for a contract company, and they lose the contract. That's not your fault. You know, there's nothing you can do about that. So now what you got to do, you got to figure out a way to do something different, you know. And then, but just think like this: if you would have said, "Well, you know what, I'm working contract, and at any point in time, we could lose this contract, even though things are going smooth, going just right." You should always have a thought in the back of your mind when you're working under any contract. Something could happen at the spur of the moment, and you could lose it. And then now that should give you the courage to want to invest in something else on top of what you're doing, just in case you lose that contract. Now you have a backup plan, and now you don't have to put yourself in that struggle. You don't have to live in that struggle. You don't have to be in that struggle. You can always rise above being in any struggling situation in life, but it's up to you, and it's up to the mindset that you adapt to where you can do what you need to do to get out of that struggle. Because just because you find yourself in a struggle, it doesn't mean that that struggle has to define you to where you cannot get out of that situation. Because like I said, a lot of things in life that happen, there's nothing we can do about it. But there are things in life that happen that we can do about. And we can get ourselves out of any struggling situation that we're in. We just have to search the necessary things that we need to do in order to get out of those struggling situations that we find ourselves in from time to time. But that's the choice that we have to make on our own. Can't nobody else make that choice for you. So you have to realize, when you find yourself caught in struggling situations and you're not happy, don't complain about it. Do something about it. Think of something you can do to change that situation. Because only you hold the power to change that struggling situation that you're going through, no matter what it is. Maybe you're going through a mental struggle in life, and you're struggling and you're battling with something, and you're not really dealing with it the way you should. Then you got to find a way to deal with that the way you should, so it's not a struggle in your life and it's holding you back from reaching your next destination in life. Because struggles can hold us back, struggles can break us down, but we cannot allow the struggles of life that we go through to define us and break us down and take us to another character other than whom we are. You know, we should still be that steadfast and unmovable person, to where when any struggle we are faced with any struggle, we have more drive and we have more consistency about ourselves and trying to get out of that struggle rather than just accepting that struggle. You know, like say for instance, right now, you know, if you're unemployed and you've been unemployed for a long time and you have never gotten an unemployment check, then you know now it's time for you to try to figure out some kind of way to where you can come up with some kind of money to where you can invest in yourself. And then you invest in yourself, and now you'll see a different things happen in your life, because you chose not to sit there and wallow in that struggle. You chose to do something about it. You chose to find a way to get some money to invest in yourself so you can start creating some income into your house. So that's what we have to do. When we find ourselves in those defining moments of struggling, you know, we have to realize that there is a way to where we can get out of being in a struggle. We just have to know what we need to do, and we just have to make the most wisest decision that we can. And if a lot of times that you're caught in a struggle and you don't know what to do, then ask somebody that you think that's done been through the struggle before for some advice and how they got out of it. Because I guarantee you, every struggle that you're going through right now, there's somebody that's done went through it that can give you some type of good advice to where you can get out of it. But if you don't never ask nobody, you don't ever find out what your avenues are to get out of certain struggles that you find yourself in life, then you will be struggling. But that's why I say we're not put on this earth to struggle. You know, like I said, things happen in life and we can't do nothing about it, but it doesn't mean that we have to stay where we are and struggling. You know, like I said, if you're working at a job that you're not getting everything you want out of it, then that's a sign to let you know it's time for you to do something else on top of what you're previously doing. And, you know, I can say to you, probably your best bet would be to invest in yourself so you can create something to where you have control over it and nobody else has control over it. And then you can create it and you can build it to the amount of income that you deserve and you desire. And now you no longer have to live in that struggle of working at 9 to 5 and working from and living and working from paycheck to paycheck and living from paycheck to paycheck and trading time for dollars. Because now you have became that action taker and that decision maker, and you have made that decision to rise above that struggle that you was going through. And like I said, this morning I challenge each and every one of you all to know that we're not put on this earth to struggle, and know how, when you find yourself in those moments of struggle, know how to get out of it. You know how to think of a plan of something you can do. And like I said, the best thing that you could ever do when you find yourself in a big struggle is invest in yourself. Because like I said, when I was in the industry and I was working the 9 to 5, I already knew that 9 to 5, not having no control over my life, you know, living from paycheck to paycheck, drowning in student loan debt from about $80,000 to $100,000 because I had went to college and got a 4-year Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice with a concentration of forensic investigation. But I knew that I was living in this struggle. And I lived in this struggle for quite some time because I allowed myself to believe that I could not do nothing different. But then, you know, I just made a decision. I said, you know what, God, send me something, you know, because I'm tired of doing this. I don't want to do this until I'm 65. So send me something to where, you know, I can create more income generated into my household, and it can give me more than what I got now, so I won't be living from paycheck to paycheck. And he sent me the concept of network marketing. And like I said, when he sent it to me, I didn't understand it because it was something I wasn't taught in school. But what I did know was that I had prayed to God and I had asked God to send me something to get me out of that struggling situation that I was living in life by living from paycheck to paycheck. And when he sent me the concept of network marketing, I automatically chose to be a part of it and became that action taker and that decision maker because I automatically seen my way out from the struggle. So I'm saying this to you, you got to find out what's the right fit for you to get you out of the struggle. And like I said, me myself personally, the right fit for me was investing in myself to where I could create my own way of making money, which was called residual income. And that's what I make right now because I went out and I worked hard for it and I created it. Because I figured, I said, hey, if I can go work hard for somebody else and trade time for dollars, why can't I work just that hard or harder to build something for myself to where I can live a lifestyle on my terms and not their terms? And when I looked at it, it made sense to me. And I said, well, you know what? That makes sense, Greg, because now you can get yourself out of that struggle that you've been living in for so many years that you believed in your mind that you can never get out of. So I'm just saying to you today, this morning, if there's any kind of struggle that you're going through in life right now, I suggest that you reevaluate the situation. You look at how you got in that situation and then find a way to get out. Find out what avenues that you need to take in order to get out of that struggling situation. Because once you allow yourself to get out of struggling situations, now you become a better you. You start to feel better. Now you're not going around depressed all the time because you're in a struggling situation. Now you're not going around worried all the time because you're in a struggling situation and you don't know what's about to happen. But when you have a safety net, and just in case something goes wrong and you're prepared for something to go wrong, now you never find yourself being caught in that struggle. And that's what I'm saying to you this morning. We all need to realize, how to get out of struggling situations and struggling moments that happen in our life that we have no control over. But we have to know what we need to do. And the first most important thing that you need to do is you need to take a look at yourself and search deep within and figure out what you're good at. What are you good at? And that you know that you love to do, you're good at it, and do it. And then once you do that, you'll see the difference in your life. And I can tell you right now, don't be afraid to invest in yourself because you never know. When you always tell yourself you can't do something and you never tried it, you don't know if you can accomplish it or not. So never tell yourself that you cannot accomplish something when you've never tried to accomplish it. Because you could be selling yourself, you could be talking yourself out of your greatest blessing in the world because you told yourself you couldn't do it. And now you put yourself and you define yourself as being in that struggle and never being able to get out of the struggle. I hear a lot of people talk all the time and they say, well, Greg, man, I can't do the things you do, man. You're very highly educated. You went to college, you did this, you did that. I know of people right now that's in the network marketing industry right today that came out of prison and signed up in the network marketing industry and are very successful. You know why? Because they made a decision. They was tired of being in that struggle when they was locked up in prison, and they said, hey, when I get out, I'm gonna do something with my life. Just give me another chance. God gave them another chance. God gave them the network marketing industry. They signed up, they understood it, and now they're successful. So don't never tell yourself that you're not smart enough to do something when you've never tried to do it. And don't never let somebody else tell you that you're not smart enough to do something when you've never tried to do it. Don't never let nobody talk you out of your blessing. That's basically what I'm telling you. And if you're living in a struggle right now, then you're talking yourself out of your blessing because you're not trying to evaluate all the different ways to get out of that struggling moment. You have allowed that struggling moment to define you and have you believing that you cannot do no better than what you are and where you are. But you have to believe and you have to trust that when you find yourself in struggling moments, that there is a way out and there is something that you can do rather than just accept it. Because we were not put on this earth to struggle. And that's what we have to realize. No matter how life gets, no matter what curveballs life throws at us, there's always a way out to keep you from being in a struggling situation to where you are. But you just have to realize what you need to do in order to get out of those struggling moments that may be holding you back at certain particular times in life, or that may be going on in your life, or whatever the case may be. I don't know what the case is that what's going on in your life. I don't know what your struggles are that you're dealing with right now. But I just want to tell you, we're not put on this earth to struggle. So you have to figure out what your defining moment is that you need to do in order to get out of the struggles that you're into. Because life is life, you know, and life is going to always move on with or without you. And life is always going to have ups and downs no matter what situation you're in. You know, even me today, even though I'm in the network marketing industry and I'm quite successful in building a team, and my team is growing more and more every day, but there are still struggles along the way that I have to deal with on a daily basis that I have to overcome, that I have to tell myself, okay, this is a moment to where I am struggling, but you know what? I'm gonna find a solution to this struggle and I'm gonna get myself out of it and I'm gonna rise above it. So that's what I'm saying to you. Never give up when you're struggling and believe that you have to just stay where you are and struggle because you don't. All you got to do is just find that defining moment of what you need to do in order to get out of that struggle. But only you can find that. So that's why I brought this message to you this morning, that we're not put on this earth to struggle, because, you know, that's not the way it's meant. You know, there's greatness inside of each and every one of us, and there's a giant inside of each and every one of us. And we just need to awaken that giant, and that greatness is on the inside of us. And once we do that, now we know how to get out of certain struggles, what to do when we need to do it, when we're caught in certain defining moments in life to where it seems like there's no way out. We just got to trust and believe that there is a way out, and trust God that he will bring us out of it. And then that's what helps you define your defining moments when you're caught in struggles and when you're in certain situations in life, and you allow yourself to come out of those situations in life because of your belief. You believe that you can bring yourself out of that struggle. That's the first thing that you have to do in order to get out of any struggling situation, is that you have to believe in yourself that you can get out of that struggling situation. And then after that, like I said, you have to reevaluate the situation and how you got there. And then now you have to, figure out a plan on how to get out of there. And if you try hard enough and you strive hard enough and you do all the things that's necessary that you need to do in life, then once you find yourself in a struggling situation, you will know how to come out of it, because like I said, we were not put on this earth to struggle. That's just the way it is. A lot of times we cause ourselves to struggle by the decisions that we make. But even if we do make a bad decision and we realize that's a bad decision that we made, we can still get out of it. We just have to make a choice to let it go. And a lot of times we can't let it go because we find ourselves trapped in it, and that's what causes us to struggle. Because we want it so bad, but we know it's no good for us. We know it's making us struggle. We know we've been struggling ever since we've been doing it. But we still chose to stay there because we believe in our mind that we can't do no better. We can always do better. You can always do better. I can always do better. We just got to strive for better. We just got to want better. And then we can do better. If we want better, we can achieve better. That's just the bottom line. In anything in life, that you're struggling with, if you figure out why you're struggling and what is causing you to struggle, you can get past it. You know, like I said, you working a 9 to 5, you living from paycheck to paycheck, then evaluate what's going on and why you're staying there. And now look at other avenues as to how you can get out of there and what you should do in order to get out of there. I mean, like I said, you know, I tell people all the time, if you're doing something that you don't like doing, find a way to do something else. And then if you're doing something that you like doing, but you're still struggling doing it, find a way to do something else on top of that. And then see how things change. Because we're not put on this earth to struggle. You know, like I said, there's greatness inside of us. You know, God did not create us on this earth to struggle. You know, there's two important times in your life. That's the day you was born and the reason you figure out why you was born. Those are two most important times in your life. The day you was born and the reason you figure out why you was born. And if you figure out the second one, the reason why you was born and what you're on this earth to do, you won't be struggling, because we're not put on this earth to struggle. And I challenge you right now, if you're going through any type of struggling moment in your life, whether it's physically, financially, mentally, or whatever, just find that defining moment of what put you there, and then find another defining moment of how you can get out of it. Because you can get out of it, you just have to make a decision to get out of it. You know, and what the decision that you have to make to get out of it, you may not be ready to make it, but if you're still struggling, it's time for you to make that decision to get out of it. You know, like say for instance, if you've been working a 9 to 5 for all these years and you still live from paycheck to paycheck and you still time broke and you went to college and you still drowning in your student loan debt and you still struggling each and every day, find that defining moment to get out of it. Take a risk and invest in yourself and just see how far it goes. You never know. You never know until you try. You never know what you can accomplish in life until you try. But if you never try to accomplish anything else in life, you're never going to get anything else in life. You know, like I said, when I said my morning inspiration one of the days last week, I said you get what you picture. That if you picture struggle, you're going to struggle. If you believe in struggle, you're going to struggle. If you believe you're struggling and you're not trying to find a way to get out from struggling, and you have accept the fact that you're going to struggle for the rest of your life, then that's what's going to happen. You know, what you conceive in your mind is what you achieve. Just believe that. You know, if you conceive that you can get out of that struggle, you can achieve a way out. But if you conceive in your mind that, man, I've been struggling all my life and ain't nothing ever gonna change, and it's not gonna change because you're telling yourself it's not gonna change. If you want something in life to change your mindset, because that's the first thing that creates change in your life. And if you're struggling right now, change your mindset. And once you change your mindset, now you will start to see ways of getting out of that struggle that you're in. But as long as you got the same mindset and you're struggling and you're not trying to do nothing to change that mindset, you're going to keep struggling. But, you know, like I said, you have to do those things. Nobody can do those things for you. You just have to realize that whatever you're going through right now, we were not put on this earth to struggle. So if you're struggling right now, and if you're battling with something, I suggest evaluate the situation, figure out what got you there, and figure out a solution as to how you can get out of there. Because you can. You can get out of any situation in life that has you bound. You just got to want to get out of it. If you want to get out of it bad enough, you can get out of that struggling situation no matter what caused you to be there. You know, because like I said, life happens. Things happen beyond our control that when it happens, you know, we can't do nothing about it. But after it happens, we can figure out a way to get out of that situation to do something about it. But when it happens to us, we can't do nothing about it. We just got to accept it for that moment. But it doesn't mean that we have to accept that forever as our struggle. You know, if we lose our job because of the economic crisis, that doesn't define us to where we got to sit there and say, okay, I lost my job. There's nothing I can do. You know, I'm struggling. I ain't got no money coming in. I ain't got this happening. I ain't got that happening. That's when you're supposed to get up off. You're supposed to get up and start moving and shake the dust off and stop feeling sorry for yourself and adapt that positive mindset and figure it out, what you need to do. You know, figure out something, because everybody has a great talent on the inside of them. Figure out what that is and use it to the best of your ability. And I guarantee you, you will get to where you need to be in life. But the first thing, you got to figure out what it is that's that great talent inside of you and bring it out. And now that gets you out of that struggling moment that you're in life, or whatever you may be going through in life that is causing you to struggle. But like I said, that's something that's totally up to you. That's something you have to figure out. That's something you have to realize. That's something you have to do. Nobody else can do that. Nobody can get you out of a struggle except you. You have to figure out how to get out of that struggle. You have to find that defining moment to where and do the necessary things that you need to do in order to overcome that struggle. But just remember, we're not put on this earth to struggle, because we're not. You know, we're put on this earth to conquer and to rule and to be able to live the life that we deserve. But in order for us to live the life that we deserve, we got to realize that we're not put on this earth to struggle. And when we find ourselves in those struggling situations, we got to be strong enough to get out of them. We got to do what we need to do to get out of them. We got to take those necessary precautions in order to get out of those struggling moments. And that's how you realize that we're not put on this earth to struggle. And that's just the bottom line. So I hope each and every one of you all got something out of that morning inspiration this morning. And just remember, you know, that you're not put on this earth to struggle. I'm not put on this earth to struggle. We're not put on this earth to struggle. We're put on this earth to conquer. So you find that conquer that is down inside of you. You awaken that giant that is down inside of you. You awaken that greatness that's inside of you. And I guarantee you, you will not struggle anymore, because you'll be done found that defining moment, whether it's investing in yourself, creating a second strand of income on top of what you're doing so you can make more, or whatever it may be. But you got to find that defining moment that's going to keep you from struggling. And like I said, once again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you all for stopping by my morning inspiration this morning. And I pray and I hope that something that I've said out of this message resonates with you, and you know that we're not put on this earth to struggle, because nobody deserves to struggle in life, and nobody deserves to settle in life because they believe that they can't do no more or no better, or they cannot create a better lifestyle than what they have. They always have to believe that they can go above and beyond, you know, what they could ask to think. You know, that's what they always have to believe. And that's how you get to the point to where you believe in yourself, and you will not believe in the struggles that you're going through. You will find a way out of them. So I just challenge you today, if there's something going on in your life right now that you're struggling with, just let my message resonate with you, and know that you were not put on this earth to struggle, and find that defining moment, what got you there. And then you can find that defining moment that'll get you out of there. And once you do that, now we're not put on this earth to struggle, and you won't struggle. But that's just my advice to you. And this morning, I'd like to thank each and every one of you all for stopping by my morning inspiration this morning. And I truly believe you. I truly thank you. Each and every one of you all. I truly believe that you're sincere, and you do get some things, you know, out of my message. And I like to say thank you for supporting me and listening to me. And I pray and I hope that the things that I say, you know, that God gives me to say as being your messenger, that it helps you throughout your day, that it inspires you to move about in a better way than you was when you woke up that morning. So once again, like I said, thank each and every one of you all for stopping by my morning inspiration this morning. But do me a favor, like, comment, and share on this video, because I know this video deserves to be heard all across the world, but it can only be heard if you help me get it out there. And if you help me get it out there, because like I said, I believe in you. I believe that there's greatness inside of you. I believe that you can come above, you can rise above any struggle that is holding you down in life. But I believe, but the question is, do you believe in yourself? That's where the big question lies. And if you believe in yourself, then you can get out of any struggling situation that you may find yourself in. You just have to reevaluate your situation and find out what got you there, and then find that defining moment to where you can get away from there. But like I said, once again, thank each and every one of you all for stopping by my morning inspiration. And I love each and every one of you all. And this morning, if you're going out the door, getting ready to go to work, and you're going to be on the highway, be safe. Once you get to work, work safe and protect yourself and those around you. And just keep a positive mindset all throughout the day. And just remember these words that I'm saying to you. We're not put on this earth to struggle. And if you realize that and you get that, when you find yourself in struggling moments in your life, you'll know how to come out of them. Just let my words resonate in your head. And then when you find yourself in a struggling situation in life, just think about what Greg said. We're not put on this earth to struggle. And think about, the things that I said, how you can overcome struggles in your life, and just do them. And then you won't be, caught in struggles in your life. But like I said, once again, thank each and every one of you all for stopping by my morning inspiration. My name is Greg Young, coming to you live from Davenport, Florida. And I love each and every one of you all. I just want to say thank you again. I cannot thank you enough for your viewers, for your likes, your comments, your support. Just keep them coming. And I just want to say, just keep coming to these morning inspirations, because every morning I got something for you that's going to help you throughout your daily life that day, and your daily lifestyle of moving to the next generation in life, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to be. Just keep listening to my morning inspirations, and don't miss one, if you cannot, because I can tell you right now, you're gonna miss some great stuff, because God has downloaded some stuff into my head that, it's unreal, and it's gonna keep coming out, because I'm his messenger, and I just want to be a message to you, so you can live a better lifestyle than what you're living right now. So like I said, God bless you all. God loves you, and I love you, and God loves you. And I just want each and every one of you all to have a blessed day, and goodbye.